So here we have your standard 3-switch faceplate. We're going to start by removing the screws. On this panel, for my setup, we had a living room fan, living room lights on a dimmer, and a kitchen light. We're just switching out one of the 3 switches so far for the evening for this tutorial on the TP-Link dimmer switch. It always feels good to get your hand on some tools and do a little bit of DIY, do it yourself. Hopefully this tutorial was helpful for you. After removing the screws, we're going to take off the faceplate, exposing the 3 switches. We're then going to have to back out some of the retaining screws for each of the switches to expose the wiring. Make sure that if you do not feel comfortable handling electrical items, that you do resort to an electrician. At this time, your circuit breaker should have already been switched off for these switches, alleviating any sort of potential hazard. You definitely want to use some safety regulations 101 here. If you are at all questioning how to do this and not feeling 100% confident, please resort to an electrician. Assuming that you are skilled, capable, and knowledgeable, and have gone through the proper precautions, continue to enjoy the video. Now that the switch has been exposed, you can see the wiring. We have the hot, which is the red, the ground, which is the green, and the neutral. This is for a 3-wire setup. A lot of times there's a 4-wire setup where the white wire will be coiled in with the already existing white wires inside the box. In order to get a better look at what we have going on in there, we're going to go ahead and recommend they remove the other switches as well so that we have some working space. Two switches down, 1 to go. Go ahead and tuck it out of your way. We're not going to disconnect it, just shove it out of the way so that we can get to the rest of the wires behind them. Normally the box is pretty small, so you'll have wires folded in on top of themselves. I like just having the room to work to make sure everything's done right the first time. Alright, now we have switch 3 free and loose. We're going to go ahead and pull it aside. Make some room to pull out the white wire bundle that I was telling you about, as we are going to have an additional wire for the switch that we're setting up today. On the side of the TP-Link box, you'll see 2 screw retainers. One for the hot wire and one for the neutral. You definitely don't have to use a power tool for this. As you can see, I had a little slip right there. Slow and controlled wins the race. Maybe a handheld screwdriver might have been a better option in this case. But we got the job done. Rotating the switch around, we're going to go ahead and pull the wires through that we're going to be connecting next. Taking our green wire and connecting it to the ground, we're going to go ahead and twist them together. Finally, we have the bundle of white wires as we were talking about earlier. This should be the final wire. Make sure you have a good solid connection and all the wires are bundled together nice and snug. So we got green with the ground, white bundled with the existing bundle of white wires, hot to the red label side tag screw, and black to black. After that, go ahead and replace the switches back into the box and reassemble your faceplate. Once you're all done, you can switch back on your breaker. At that point in time, the TP-Link switch will be flashing. Go to the TP-Link app in your download store. Tell it to search for devices, and it will find your flashing switch. You can name it, pair it,